Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with the multi-talented vocalist, songwriter, producer, and influencer, Laranah Phipps. She talked about her new 2023 album done with Funkalicious called Game Changer, and that's exactly what she is. Born and raised in Newark, New Jersey, her drive, focus, and tenacity are relentless and unstoppable forces on the music circuit. She is a one-of-a-kind, cosmically wired entertainer, unafraid to break the rules and push the boundaries of our perception with her deeply rooted musicalities and explosive scat execution. This is a great interview. Enjoy.
Thank you for taking a minute out today. Before we get into your new album and your life in music, I want to know, the past 3 years with COVID has been quite tumultuous, especially for the world of jazz. How did you survive it, and how has it changed the way that you do things now?
So I survived it because I was making the record. Well, it took us 2 years to make the record. So we went a year of pre-production, rehearsing the band, and all of that. And I had complete tunnel vision. So COVID allowed me to make the record.
So has it changed the way that you either artistically survived and thrive today, or the way you conduct business? Has it changed you at all?
Yes, and it has changed because having all that time, not gigging, not touring, or any of that, what I've been allowed to do is immerse myself in the business of entertainment, Spotify and social media and algorithms, and so I'm a lot wiser as to how to conduct this business, which is one of the reasons the album is. I mean, I believe that it's a really good product, but from a business perspective, I've learned so much. And I would not have probably been able to deep dive as much as I have been able to because of COVID.
Now that, things are kind of easing up, live shows are happening, talk to me about what it feels like to have this new album out and kind of how you put it together.
Well, it's very exciting, first of all, to spend this much time every single day of my life on this project and to have it being received so well, watching people's emotions as I hear it and watching the numbers constantly going up and I walked into a venue the other night and Jazz Crimes was playing. It's so humbling. It's an honor to know that people appreciate and can identify and are supportive of my music. So it's beautiful. It's very humbling. Because you set out to do a project, and in your mind you have an idea of what you love and feel and are committed to, and you hope that the people like it, but you don't really know, and so you think they'll like it, but so to actually be witnessing the growth and development. It's like having a child and now it's outside of my womb and I'm watching it grow. I'm nurturing it, but it has taken on a life of its own. It's a beautiful thing. It really is.
Yeah, it's a wonderful metaphor. Let's dig into your roots a little bit. Talk to me a little bit about growing up and how the seeds of not only jazz but music got into you.
So, music got into me through my mother's womb and my father's cells. Hold on just 1 second. We're going to go in that parking lot. So my mother's a musician. My mother's guitarist, and my father's musician, woodwind man, saxophonist, and my family's a jazz family. And I don't ever remember music being the focus for the day for some reason, whether, no matter what it was. I can remember at 3 years old listening to Billie Holiday and listening to Mariam Kiba, who was a friend of my mother's. When she would come to New Jersey, my mother entertained her, and this music has always been just a huge portion of my life.
Talk to me a little bit about the very first live jazz show you saw that either blew you away or inspired you.
The very first live jazz show? The very first live jazz show I saw would have been surrounded around Queen of Angels, Our Lady Queen of Angels in Newark, which is the Black Catholic Church, which my mother was a founding member of, and Queen of Angels was known for its artistic influence in the community. So there was always some type of jazz, some type of show. But then, so I remember it was surrounding, I think, some type of communion event that was happening, and there was a band, and Emery Tenley, who became my mentor, was the pianist, and there was horn players and different things. And I was stricken by it. I knew it was what I wanted, but it wasn't strange to me because it was it was like when you walk in the dining room and there's a beautifully set table, but if you're always used to a beautifully set table, it's nice, but it's what you're used to. And so I was, coming up with musicians, it's just what you're used to. But one of the shows, we went to see The Wiz in New York, and that was a defining moment for me. But even more than seeing The Wiz, I was taken to see Lady Sings the Blues, and the character. Diana Ross reminded me very much of my mother, and her character, Billie Holiday. It was like I could relate to the lifestyle at the age of 6, at the age of 7, I could relate to the struggle with music and drugs and fashion, because I had always seen it. It registered with me, and I was like 6 or 7.
So you've been at this music game for a while. I'm curious, what do you like the best about it? There's so many angles and aspects that go into it. What is it that you look forward to the most?
What I look forward to the most is having an idea and taking that idea from my head into a reality. It's a process. So it can start with a lyric, it can start with a melody, it can start with a conversation that I've had with somebody that struck me, that inspired me, and being able to take whatever that feeling was and turn it into a song and get other people involved with it and get them excited about it. Like Daddy's Back, when I wrote Daddy's Back. Daddy's Back is really about a lot of different situations that I faced, and to bring that, to write the lyric, and then to bring the musicians and to have them have their input, and then to listen to the final product, to share who I am, because my music is me. If you want to know who I am, then you listen to my music, and you will get a total picture. But you got to listen to all of it, because I talk about various aspects of me or my life or my thinking, So it's for me, creating it and then presenting it and then performing it and having people, when I'm on stage and I'm able to perform and have people understand what I'm feeling, or look at a person while I'm performing and touch their life, and something I've said, a phrase that I've turned, a scat, a note, the way you hold it, the way there's pain in it or joy, and they can identify with that. There's just nothing, that connection, there's nothing like that.
Absolutely. So why do you love jazz?
I love jazz because it's daring, it's frightening, it's if I were to sing a piece of R&B, get up and sing some R&B or something like I can put myself into it, but I'm going through the melody, I'm going through the lyrics, and I might turn the phrase in a different way. But with jazz, to even approach it, first of all, I get to apply everything that I've studied my entire life. It's a skill. You just can't get up and sing a jazz song and think that you're singing jazz because it's a jazz song. You have to apply the formula, the methods, the tried and tested attributes of jazz. And then you get to throw all of that away and jump off the cliff. And Sun Ra said, play what you don't know, sing what you don't know, but be swinging on your instrument. And that's what jazz is. It's like exploring aspects of a song from a different perspective, but also having a conversation with the other musicians and going in a direction that you didn't think about before you did it, because it's jazz. Jazz, it's about thinking, and the thinking of jazz comes in when you are applying the theory. But when you're actually singing or scatting, you're not applying the theory so much from a perspective of thinking. You are improvising, and that is it's you're using every aspect of your body, your mind, your soul, your experiences, and your theory and all of that, and then staying in sync with other folk. So it's exhilarating. It's like jazz for me is like an amazing man, intriguing, well dressed, and you are meeting him, and the two of you are walking together, having this conversation. It's sexy. It's romantic. It's it's guarded in a way. You want to be on your best behavior, but you giving it all you got. You know what I mean? In that moment. So that's what jazz is to me.
I like that description. That's wonderful. So let's get to the essence. Yeah, let's get to the essence of you, to your core. Everyone out there has a perception of you, your family, your friends, your fans, but ultimately you live your life. You're in control. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I think that I am a futuristic old soul. I think that I am very adventurous. I think that I'm very mysterious on purpose. I am very, very loving, but I don't take any BS. You know what I mean? I like the truth, and sometimes the truth for me is a bit ugly, but I prefer that, and I think that I'm true to that with people that I'm always around. And sometimes folks don't like that about me. I'm an Aries, and I fit the description of an Aries totally and completely. But I have evolved, and I've evolved on purpose. I wanted to live, being a child of jazz. There's a bit of chaos in there, because jazz, as folks like to say, is the devil's music. It is not, you know. Music comes from creation. It's a blessing, but how we choose to live our lives within a particular profession, you know, tells a lot. And with jazz, there's party, there's this, there's drugs, there's all of that. And I'd like you to know, of all of the things that I've seen in my life, I've never smoked weed. Never had to. My father said it best once. He said to me, he said, a wise man learns from other people's experiences. He said, a foolish man learns from his own. And he used to say things like that to me when we would get together, because I wasn't raised with my father. When I got older, I spent a lot of time with my father, and he poured all of himself and his music into me, as did others. But I learned by looking at my environment that although this is what is around me, this is not what I want. But I want to be able to take those things that are, you got to go into the den with the lion if you're dealing with jazz, and you know, and you got to be cautious to get that music. That music is in the den with the lion, and the lion is ferocious, but there's a way to go in there and be wise and respectful. And that's how I approached going after this music. You know, I'm wise and respectful, but I understand that is a lion. And every now and then the lion would roar. And there are times when I roared back, but I'm not foolish. I know it's a lion. So I always stayed away from the drugs and the sex and the parties too. I mean, I'm not, you know, I've never really been into any of that. I've gone when I've needed to go, but I'm always the first to leave because I'm just not about the foolishness. I believe that the music that I have to offer, the Laranah Phipps that y'all love, I don't have to sell any part of me. I have to sell you my voice and my and everything that's around, but I don't have to sell my soul for this music. And I stand on that. It's corny, but I stand on it.
This has been wonderful. Thank you for opening up. Thanks for talking about the new album and your life in music. It was very, very eloquent and very, very visual. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time, and I appreciate you having an interest in the record. Thank you.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest players and singers in New Jersey, Kansas City, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. And thanks to Laranah for her time, music, and story. If you want to hear more interviews, visit Neon Jazz Interviews at either Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube. And for everything Neon Jazz, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Neon Jazz.